Hello, everybody.
How's it going?
Welcome to another video in SoundLab Studios, right over there. First
I'm
appearance
here.
on my channel. I'm usually
It
on
is.
this channel, and today we're going to be doing a track versus track video. Very excited to start this thing off. We're going to be going against two battles from the same year. Quadrophenia by The Who versus Yellow Brick Road by Elton John. First time I ever heard the record before, so
Yeah, he
I'm
literally just listened to it for the first time. Goodbye
yeah.
Yellow Brick Road, that is.
And yeah, what are your opinions on both of those albums?
These are both great albums. Two of the best double albums ever made. Quad has definitely grown on me the more I've listened to it because before it's more like it's okay, but it's not as good as like Who's Next or Tommy. But then like the more I listen to it, the more it's like okay, this is actually a really good album. I just haven't really dug deep into it yet. I'm more familiar with Yellow Brick Road, probably. I've listened to that quite a few times. I have it right here. I own that one. I don't own Quad, but I've seen it at the record store a bunch, so I could probably pick it up eventually.
Yes,
But Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is an amazing album. My favorite Elton John album has so many of his best songs on it.
definitely. So we're gonna be doing it, like I said before. We're gonna be doing a track versus track video.
Right.
So they both have 17 tracks on it, which makes it really easy. Some obviously some tracks are better than the others, the way it was ordered. But yeah,
Yeah.
on my phone, I written it down. I'm just gonna put a tick down for each of them that win, of course.
All right.
But let's get started. First battle is gonna be really easy. 11
Yeah.
minute epic that is funeral for a friend and love uh yeah funeral for a friend and love lies bleeding the that 11-minute epic track versus I am the sea, and it's like
It's about a
we
minute of
know
noise
your
that's
winner
just
is.
ambient noise.
Yeah,
Yeah, Elton is definitely winning this one for me.
yeah, I agree.
Uh,
Definitely a tick on Yellow Brick Road.
Funeral for a Friend might be my favorite Elton John song, thinking about it. It's just like the perfect way to open this album. I mean, Quad's got
Definitely.
the perfect closer, but the kind of wind and the rainy sounds at the beginning, and then you get that kind of ominous synthesizer with the bell tolling, and then like the piano and the guitar just keep building up until you get to the song, and then once you get to the song, it's just epic.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's just the perfect song to open up an album to. I agree. And yeah, Yellow Brick Road wins that one, of course.
Oh
Like
yeah,
no competition.
no
Next
competition.
track is going to be hard, actually. Candle in the Wind versus The Real Me. Uh,
Okay, I know what's gonna win, but I like both of these songs.
yeah. I'm going to go with Quadrophenia on this one.
I am also going with that because while Candle in the Wind is a great song and a great tribute to Marilyn Monroe, I think The Real Me wins it, if not for just the epic bass playing from John Entwistle on it.
Yeah, like if the ox wasn't so like prominent during this song, I'd probably give it a tie. But
And those
he's so
horns in the
strong on it.
background. Wah,
Dun, dun,
and
dun,
the
dun, dun.
vocals. Can you see the real me? Can
Hey,
ya?
his
Can
voice
ya?
cracks a lot on that
Yeah.
song, and that just proves how like rock and roll it is. Third one, Benny and the Jets versus the title track of Quadrophenia.
Oh, why? I just recently listened to part of it and like I really like that instrumental song. Like it's like the four main themes of the album being introduced. But I
Yeah.
also love Benny and the Jets because like I listened to it a lot when I was a kid and have really fond memories of it. It's close, but I'm gonna have to go with Benny and the Jets.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Quadrophenia because of how it's not overplayed like the other track is, but I could definitely see where you're coming from. I also somewhat grew up with Benny and the Jets. I remember that when I was younger too, and yes, I agree. It is a great song, but yeah, basically what you said about Quadrophenia, it's just like it brings up the four themes from the album, and I just think it's like a really well crafted song.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Number four, Cut My Hair versus The title track, Yellow Brick Road. What are you thinking?
Yellow Brick Road.
I agree.
Now, The Punk Meets the Godfather. That's going to be a hard one to beat, but
Ooh, yeah, song with no title versus Punk Meets the Godfather.
oh no! Okay, I'm going with The Punk Meets the Godfather.
I agree.
Even though I like a song has no title, it's really cool. And apparently, Elton John is singing and playing all the instruments on this song, which I think is a fun fact, and it's cool about the song has no title. But The Punk Meets the Godfather is epic, and I like the callbacks to My Generation.
Yeah,
And I don't know, it's a better song.
yeah. Plus the opening riff with the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yes, and the synthesizer that just pulses like the do 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 do. Oh, he's like, I'm the punk with the stutter.
Definitely, this album and Who Are You are definitely two albums with him at his absolute best on vocals. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like once they hit the 70s, it's like his vocals are just
Yeah, I prefer their '60s music, but I do agree his
no,
vocals
but like his vocals just I
just
don't know.
mature in a really good way. Brings out the rock and roll in him.
Yeah.
Next one, I'm One versus Gray Seal.
Oh,
To
I
me,
know
this
what's
is an
funny.
easy one. What do you say?
Gray Seal.
Yeah, to me that was an easy one. That's my favorite song on the album. So to
It's
me,
amazing.
my one of my favorite songs on the album versus one of my least favorite songs on the album. So
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
that was to me really easy. Their Dirty Jobs versus uh Jamaica Jerk Off. uh,
Um,
that was to me. This is easy. We're gonna go with Dirty Jobs.
me too.
Probably because of how goofy the other one is. Like
Yeah.
standalone song, it's really good, but if I'm battling up against that song, it's to me it's an easy choice.
Yeah. Okay, so they're catching up.
Helpless Dancer versus I've seen that movie too.
No.
Oof.
Good
Yeah,
grief.
man, that is hard. That is hard. Yeah, man.
Helpless Dancer is like one of the big main themes on this album, but then like I've seen that movie too is epic and has that reverse guitar solo in it. This is gonna be a tricky one. I'm
I'm
gonna Oh, what are you gonna do?
I'm actually gonna go with Yellow Brick Road on this one.
Me too.
I know, surprising, right? This is like my first time I ever heard
Yep.
it. And I'm like, the Who's like my favorite band of all time. So
Well, we're getting to side 3 on Yellow Brick Road, so I think we're gonna get a few more ticks for the Who.
yeah, is it in my head versus the first track on it, Sweet Painted Lady.
Yeah,
That one,
I'm
Quadrophenia.
going. Is it in my head?
Yeah, I liked the track, but it's just compared to the other track, it's just night and day.
Yeah.
I've had enough versus the Ballad of Danny Bailey, 1909 verse dash 1934.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
And with that, they have tied.
Okay. 515 versus Dirty Little Girl.
No contest.
Yeah, 515.
515.
That's like one of my favorite tracks on Quadrophenia too versus one of my least favorite tracks on the Old Brick Road. Sea and Sand versus All the Girls Love Alice.
Here's the thing: is I don't really remember seeing Sand very well.
I don't. It's not one of the more memorable ones, but I much prefer it over the last track on side 3. So I'm
Mm,
just gonna go with Quadrophenia. I'd rather have a song that's not memorable than a song that's memorable for all the wrong reasons. If that makes any
I
sense.
will go with that as well.
Okay, we're reaching the home stretch. Drowned
Oh, that's a good
versus
one.
Your Sister Can't Twist.
Huh. Both of these kind of have an old school rock and roll feel to them. Hmm. I like both of these.
I'm gonna go with Quadrophenia probably because of that end with the drown me. In cold water, or I forgot. I remember it being like something like that happening in the song. I'm like, yes, not because of that the lyrics, but just the way he sings it is just so rock and roll.
I like the piano on that too. The doodle doo doo doodle doo doo doodle doo doo doodle.
I don't know why, but I always mistake that for Sea and Sand for some reason. Like I always expect to hear that on like the opening riff from Drowned on Sea and Sand. And then when I not hear, it, I'm like, isn't there supposed to be with the do 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 do? And then I skip to the next track. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the track.
What am I
Yeah.
gonna pick? I guess I'm going with Drowned. Even
Yeah.
though I like Your Sister Can't Twist, but she can rock and roll. But I guess I'm gonna go with Drowned because I like it a little bit more.
Saturday Night's all right for fighting. Man, for me, this could be hard versus Bellboy.
Yeah, this is definitely tricky. I know it's gonna win, but I'm not happy about it.
Bellboy. We're going to get right now.
Always biting at
Bellboy.
someone's ear.
I'm going with Quadrophenia.
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
go
god.
with um, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
I like Saturday Night's all right for fighting. It was a great track. It just wasn't on par from like the best tracks on the album. It's a great
I'm
standalone song, but compared to like the first side, then the second
mm,
side, you
I'm
know.
just gonna give it the slight nod, even though I really enjoy Bellboy. It's one of my favorite songs on the album, and I love his Cockney accent that he does on it. And I like the synthesizers, and I like the part that goes like, "A beach is a place where a man can feel he's the only soul in the world that's
I could
real."
just imagine Daltrey just like like when he does that strumming thing where just like where he does that.
Yeah, yeah.
I can imagine him doing that while singing that song.
But then I'm giving the slight nod to Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting because that's another song I grew up listening to, and the guitar riff is just fire.
Yeah, I do agree. It is a great track. Roy Rod, social
Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers versus Dr. Jimmy. Uh, I'm gonna go with Roy Rogers probably because of the lyrics on.
Yeah, if it was musically, I would go with Dr. Jimmy, but the lyrics are very disturbing, so I'm going with Roy Rogers.
Yeah, that was an easy one. The Rock versus Social Disease.
I'm going with The Rock. That is an epic instrumental track.
Okay, I actually picked Yellowbird Road on that one.
Really.
Now, okay, this is an easy one. Love Rain or Me versus Harmony.
I mean, they're both good, but like one of them is epic and one of them is just good. So,
Yeah, we both know what we're talking
Love
about.
Rain or Me.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow. I'm very surprised it went one.
Yep. Quadrophenia won for me.
It did by a lot of points, actually.
Yeah.
3 points. Interesting. I
Yeah.
thought for sure Elton John was going to win for me.
Yeah. For me, it was like 4 or 5 points. Yeah.
Well, that kind of seals the deal at where everything stands for Album of the Year 1973.
Yeah. This album's definitely gonna be. This is definitely gonna be at least in my top three, for sure.
Yes.
But yeah. Oof, yeah. That's.
Do you have any other track versus track that you want to do while you're on this stream?
Uh. Well, since we're at it. Hmm. I would say. I want to think of something with like the Village Green Preservation Society album, but
I would say versus Between the Buttons, but I think Village Green has more tracks, and also like I feel like it would just blow Between the Buttons away.
yeah, that's what I mean. Uh, yeah,
How many tracks does Village Green Preservation Society have?
15 tracks.
Oh, I can't think of any albums that have 15 tracks that aren't
Yeah,
like double albums.
yeah,
Um,
that's like to me it could have been a double album if like some of the tracks were a little
we
longer.
could do Village Green Preservation Society versus Revolver and take off a few of the tracks.
Well, we couldn't. Well, it could just be one track since Revolver's 14 tracks.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna get my Revolver copy and my Village Green album.
We are the Village Green Preservation Society.
Would you consider Would you consider the Village Green Preservation Society album like their Sergeant Pepper or their Revolver?
I would have to listen to more of their albums.
Well, we're gonna listen to Arthur afterwards, but
Okay,
yeah,
it depends on what album I like better.
I think you're gonna like the other one better, but well, you're gonna like not the other one. I think you're gonna like this one better, but well, I think it's better, but did you happen to watch my tier list video?
I watched a little bit of it, but
I'll
I
say
stopped because I'm like, I need to listen to these albums before I can watch this.
yeah. The towards the end, there's like you know how like there's S here, and then yeah, that and how it ends like that. I actually
Yeah.
added one towards the end with the SS tier, like be like this album is just so good. It's like way above every one of them, but who knows? Maybe you might think otherwise. A lot of people think Lola versus Power Man Part One's their best album.
Hmm.
A lot of people think Face to Face is their best album. There's like a lot of albums by the Kings that a lot of people consider to be their masterpiece, and I happen to be in the majority that people say this is their best.
Mm.
Okay, let's get this started. What was your least favorite track off the Village Green album?
Um, I don't think I can like pick a least favorite off the top of my head. I can probably 'cause I've only heard it 1.5 times, but I think I can pick a least favorite off of Revolver just because I've heard it so many times.
Well, this has 14 tracks, so there's no point in getting rid of any of these tracks. So,
No.
well, I'm gonna make it so that like each side has 7 tracks. So I'm gonna get rid of one track from side two, which I'm gonna pick Monica as the track that we remove.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my least favorite from side two, anyway. Okay, let's get this started. I might have to change the video afterwards too because people are gonna click on that and then they're gonna see the rest of this and be like, "Isn't it just gonna be Yellow Brick Road versus Quadrophina? What's the rest of this for?" But yeah,
Just change the title.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, guys, welcome to part 2 of today's video. Unexpected, but Village Green Preservation Society versus Revolver. Let's get started.
Okay.
First track, the title track versus Taxman. Oof.
Oh no.
Talk about, oof, man, that's gonna.
Taxman is one of the Beatles songs I have the fondest memories of playing it on Beatles Rock Band and laughing at the funny lyrics. That being said, I'm giving it to Village Green Preservation Society because that song was super catchy from the first time I heard it.
Yeah, I gotta think about that though.
Let's see.
Because Village Green, the title track is so catchy and it's so melodic and it's just amazing and it gets stuck in your head. But at the same time, this has George Harrison opening up the album and it has one of Paul McCartney's best guitar solos.
I know, which is why I'm so upset that it's not winning, but I when I hear that Village Green Preservation Society song, it gets stuck in my head all day.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go with Revolver actually.
All
Surprisingly.
right, I can see why.
Okay, Eleanor Rigby versus Do You Remember Walter?
Eleanor Rigby, that is one of their best songs.
I'm going with Village Green. Okay. I'm Only Sleeping versus Picture Book.
Ooh, ooh. Um, I'm actually gonna go with Picture Book,
I agree.
even though I like I'm Only Sleeping and I like the backwards guitar.
Yeah,
But
I didn't want to put this at the top, but
Picture Book is one of the highlights of the album.
yeah, Love You Too, or as I like to nickname it, the Indian song versus Johnny Thunder.
I'm gonna go with Johnny Thunder. This being Harrison's first Indian song, it's not quite as fleshed out as like Within You Without You on Sergeant Pepper.
Yeah,
So it's probably my least favorite on Revolver because of that. He definitely got it better the next time around with Within You Without You, but
Plus,
I don't
it's
know.
my
I just
favorite Beatles song, "Within You Without You." So, yeah, like whenever I listen to "Love You Too," I'm like, I just would rather listen to "Within You Without You."
that's my exact same thoughts. I'm like, this is like George's prototypical, or yeah, prototypical, if you could call it that, Indian song.
Fun fact: the Kinks were the first band to actually introduce Indian slash Eastern music to rock and roll. They had a single
Really,
in 1964-65 called "See My Friends." We could listen to that afterwards, but yeah,
1964.
yeah, it was either 64-65.
Wow, that's pre Norwegian Wood.
Yes, and yeah, not many people know that, but I remember. Well, I thought it was a guitar, but you'll think it's a guitar too, but it was actually the sitar. It's weird.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll listen to that afterwards. But let's get on to the next of the tracks. The next one's going to be easy for me. Here, There, and Everywhere versus Last of the Steam Powertrains.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, uh,
I
that's
like
my
Steam
least
Powered
favorite.
Train song, but and I know it came out first, but every time I hear that, all I can think of is "Run Through the Jungle" by CCR, and it's like I'd just rather be listening to "Run Through the Jungle."
When I think of it, I think about I think Susie Q actually.
Really, I can
Yeah,
see that too.
but then again, I think this album came before CCR's first album too.
It did.
So that's weird. Like two songs that sound similar to CCR that predated those two songs. Who knows? Maybe John Fogerty was a secret Kinks fan.
I don't know.
You never know. Yellow Submarine versus Big Sky.
Um,
This is easy for me.
I know it's kind of a goofy song, but I'm actually going with "Yellow Submarine."
I can
I
see
have
why.
I have
Child,
good memories of it
yes,
when I was first getting into the Beatles, and Ringo show Ringo some love, you know.
yeah. To me, it's like you got a masterpiece versus a kid song. That's how I looked at it. But I could definitely
Fair
see
enough.
why you put it because I also have fond memories of it. She said versus Sitting by the Riverside. To
She
me,
said, she said.
yeah, that's an easy choice for
I
me.
like that song.
Good Day Sunshine versus Animal Farm. Nope,
I need to
Doctor.
re-listen to Animal Farm. I
But
think
what are your opinions right now?
if I just have to go off of right now, then I'd have to go with "Good Day Sunshine" because I haven't listened to Animal Farm enough times.
Yeah, you gotta re-listen to it. And Your Bird Can Sing versus Village Green.
No, those are two of my
Well,
favorite songs from each of these albums.
I know.
I hate this, but I'm going with Village Green. My favorite song on the album. And
Yeah.
Your Bird Can Sing is one of my favorites, but it's not my favorite. And for that reason, Village Green is going to win.
Okay. For No One versus Starstruck.
Okay, I love For No One. I
Yeah,
love that they put a French horn solo in it.
yeah, it really seals the deal.
That one's going to win.
Dr. Robert versus Phenomenal Cat.
Phenomenal Cat. Dr. Robert is my second least favorite song on that album.
All of My Friends Were There versus I Want to Tell You.
I'm going to go with All My Friends Were There. Oh, they're
I'm
tied
actually going with
again.
Revolver, believe it or not.
Harrison's best track is definitely Taxman on this album.
Yeah, I agree. Wicked Annabella versus Got to Get You Into My Life.
Got to Get You Into My Life is actually my favorite song on this album.
Yeah, I
It's also the song that kind of brought the band Chicago into existence, which I really like. So, for that
yeah,
reason, and because it's my favorite song on this album, I'm going with Revolver.
makes sense. Tomorrow Never Knows versus People Take Pictures of Each Other. Talk about two polar opposite last tracks. Like you have like the psychedelic, craziness of a song, and then you have people take pictures of the summer, just in case they have thought that it never existed.
I'm gonna go with Revolver just because A, nobody had ever done anything like that before, but B, if I choose people take pictures of each other, it's going to tie, and I'd rather not end in a tie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Village Green. I have fond memories of that song. I remember listening to that song on the first time. I was driving back from school, and I was just like, "This is really good. I gotta listen to it again. I gotta listen to it again." And I kept replaying it. I listened to that song for like 7 or 8 times the very first time I heard it. I really
Well,
liked it. But
the
overall,
fact that this album, like the only reason that, or what is it? Sorry, the fact that Revolver only beat this album by 1 point shows how good it is, though.
yes, I agree. Uh, I to me, Village Green just barely edged it out by 2 points, which
Uh,
my third favorite album versus one of my favorite Beatle albums. That just proves how great they were at their times.
yeah,
Music nowadays, it's like you know there isn't really that much competition going around, but
yeah.
back in the '60s, you got the Who, you got the Hollies. You just had so many great British bands going for them.
Mm-hmm. All right, that
Yes.
concludes part two.
Yep. End of part two. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Seems that no one was watching it, but pardon me. Hope you guys hope whoever watches the replay. Hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.